Seann William Scott. For years, he was the guy who made everyone laugh, the unforgettable Stifler from American Pie, the lovable goofball who totally owned early 2000s comedy. But today, his name isn't trending because of another outrageous movie role or a nostalgic throwback to his most iconic character. No, this time it's all about drama, heartbreak, and a revelation that's left Hollywood buzzing. Seann William Scott's divorce proceedings have cracked open a vault of secrets, including a hidden fortune no one ever expected him to have. Yes, the man Hollywood almost forgot is suddenly back in the headlines, and the story unfolding is juicier than anything he's ever acted out on screen. When news of the divorce first broke, fans didn't think much of it. After all, Hollywood splits are as common as film reboots, and Scott has always been notoriously private about his personal life. Married to interior designer Olivia Korenberg in 2019, he'd managed to keep their relationship away from the spotlight. No splashy red carpet appearances, no tabloid feuds, just low-key and quiet, which honestly matched his post-American Pie career trajectory. But what started as a relatively calm announcement has now exploded into a messy web of financial intrigue. Court documents revealed that Seann William Scott, who many assumed had seen his star fade after the early 2000s, was sitting on a secret nest egg worth far more than anyone imagined. And now, everyone wants to know, how did he manage to keep it all hidden for so long? To understand this financial bombshell, you've got to rewind. After the American Pie series, Scott seemed to vanish. While his co-stars like Jason Biggs and Allison Hannigan found steady work in television and films, Scott largely ducked out of Hollywood's brightest spotlight. He popped up occasionally, think Dude, Where's My Car, Role Models, and Goon, but nothing matched the peak of his early fame. People assumed the paychecks had dried up and that Scott had faded into a comfortable but modest Hollywood retirement. But behind the scenes, he was making some very calculated moves. Sources close to the actor suggest that Scott invested heavily during the early 2000s, quietly sinking money into real estate in Los Angeles and Minnesota, his home state. While Hollywood buzzed about his comedy antics, Scott was building a property empire, snagging houses when prices were low and selling when the market soared. On top of that, whispers indicate he funneled cash into stocks, tech startups, and even a few surprising business ventures, including wellness and fitness companies. While everyone thought he was the guy who peaked with Stifler, in reality, Scott was playing the long game, slowly amassing a fortune while staying out of the public eye. And here's where the divorce drama heats up. Olivia Korenberg, who married Scott under the radar, reportedly had no idea just how deep his financial pockets ran. Court insiders claim she expected a relatively modest division of assets, only to discover accounts, properties, and business holdings that ballooned into the tens of millions. Suddenly, this wasn't just a simple separation. It was a battle over hidden wealth. Lawyers scrambled, the press caught wind, and Hollywood sat up and took notice. The revelations have triggered a new wave of fascination with Scott. How could an actor who seemed nearly invisible for the past decade be worth so much? Fans dug up old interviews where he often downplayed his Hollywood career, joking that he didn't even know if he could afford to keep acting. Turns out, those jokes were more of a smokescreen. Scott wasn't struggling. He was thriving in silence. His ability to disappear from Hollywood while still stacking cash makes his story not just intriguing, but almost legendary in an industry where, honestly, oversharing is kind of the norm. And now, the narrative has taken an ironic twist. While Scott's most famous character, Stifler, was brash, loud, and impossible to ignore, the real Scott pulled off the ultimate disappearing act. He let the world think he'd faded, all while quietly living like a king behind the curtain. But thanks to the divorce proceedings, that curtain has been yanked away, and the world finally sees him for what he is. Not a washed-up comic actor, but a shrewd, calculated, and surprisingly wealthy man. Hollywood, of course, isn't holding back. Some outlets are praising Scott for his financial intelligence, dubbing him the stealth investor who beat the Hollywood curse. Others are painting him in a less flattering light, suggesting he intentionally kept his fortune hidden from his wife, and that the divorce could expose a selfish streak. Social media, meanwhile, is having a field day. Memes about Stifler getting rich while no one was watching have exploded, with fans joking that he pulled the biggest prank of his career on Hollywood itself. But behind the humor lies a serious reality. Scott's carefully cultivated privacy is shattered. Every financial move, every hidden property, every business tie is now under the microscope. What was once his biggest strength, staying under the radar, is suddenly impossible. And for a man who's built an image on avoiding drama, that's a spotlight he may not want. So the real question now is how this divorce will shape Scott's future. Will he be forced into the Hollywood circus he so carefully avoided, dragged into court battles and endless headlines? Or, will he once again slip out of sight, richer but scarred from the exposure? Either way, his name is back in circulation, and in an industry that totally thrives on attention, that might just mean a career revival. Some industry insiders are already speculating that producers could tap into this sudden wave of publicity to bring Scott back into bigger roles. After all, audiences love a comeback story, and what's more dramatic than Stifler returning to Hollywood with both money and mystery? As the divorce drama plays out, one thing is certain. Seann William Scott has proven that Hollywood isn't just about flashing cameras and blockbuster deals. Sometimes, it's the quiet players, the ones who slip away, that hold the most shocking stories. From comedy icon to stealth millionaire, Scott's journey is now center stage and fans can't get enough. And honestly, this is only the beginning. The divorce filings are still unfolding, meaning more revelations could hit the press any day. Maybe more hidden accounts, maybe offshore investments, maybe partnerships with names we never expected. Whatever comes next, one thing is guaranteed: it won't stay hidden for long. So what do you think? Was Seann William Scott a genius for keeping his fortune quiet, or does the secrecy make the divorce even messier? Either way, this is a Hollywood story that's far from over, and you can bet the next chapter will be just as shocking. If you want to stay updated as the twists keep coming, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we'll be following every detail of Seann William Scott's secret fortune and the divorce drama that's exposing it all. And trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next.